Welcome to December. Want to know what this week has in store for you? Well, come on in and let's have a chat about it. Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to another weekly oracle reading for the week of December 6th. Happy December, and oh my goodness, we are actually coming to the end of this year, 2021. I gotta tell you, this is the fastest year I've ever experienced in my life. It's like a blinked, and here we are. I'm still thinking it's like February or March. I can't even get over it. I don't even know where the summer went. But here we are, and happy to be here. So let's call in all the archangels, ascended masters, highest guides, light beings, creature teachers, elementals, loved ones, and spirit. Come on into this space to give us the clarity and guidance that we need to really set ourselves up for success this week. No matter what's coming our way, we are going to be successful at it. So let's set that intention. And this week I am pulling from the Osho Zen deck, the tarot deck, and let's see what our first message is. Rebirth, 10 of Swords, or in this case, it's 10 of Clouds. Swords and clouds is the realm of the mind, air, mental energy. It's also an energy of communication, how we are communicating out into the world, how we are thinking about our communication. It's also psychic. It's our intuition and how we receive our information and our intuition. And of course, rebirth, this card has a lot to do with Phoenix energy. And I feel like it's very appropriate that it's coming in at the beginning of this month, because we are really coming out of a time that has been quite tumultuous. It has been a time of reevaluation of our lives on an internal level as well as an external level. You know, what needs to stay, what needs to go, what needs to change. And we are, as a collective, I want to say as a collective group, a race, a world, we are finding new ways of moving forward and finding ways that are going to better suit the collective as a whole, not always about the individual, more inclusive. And I want to say we're all one, and this is important. We need to be rebirthing ourselves into this level of energy so that we can really help each other out, and therefore we are helping ourselves out. And we talk about the number 10, new beginnings based on an already established foundation. We've worked hard the last couple of years, especially this past year. We have worked really hard to get through some of these uncomfortable truths, some of these uncomfortable situations and snafus and, you know, distribution problems, and you can't get a lease and you can't buy a car, and, you know, toilet paper and beef and you name it. We have run into our struggles. This is saying, okay, we've gotten through a lot of that lump and bump, and now who do you want to become? You've learned from that experience, you've adapted. Now, who do you want to become? And I'm hearing there's a lot of wording around adaptation, going with the flow. When we're looking at this particular card, it really doesn't have anything to do with going with the flow at all. In fact, it's very much about our solar plexus chakra and our sacral chakra. So, and a little bit of root. It's the lower chakras and really connecting to that sensuality, sexuality, creative expression of flow, the ocean of our emotion, our identity, our personal power, mastery, and co-creation. But through this process, this is how we are rising out of the ash and coming into our own. And what we've got here is we've got a camel, a humpbacked camel, and then there's a a lion that's standing on this humpbacked camel. So we've got water in the clouds, water and air. We've got this lion that represents the earth, you know, the pride of the earth. This is the top of the food chain. And out of this lion comes out this new, you know, little boy or little girl, little human playing the flute. And I feel like what this is symbolizing is we have a lot of strength. We have a lot of strength. When we think about camels, they have resource, right? We've got resource and we've got strength. And because of the resources, because we have been able to access what has been all around us. And sometimes we've been forced to have to make do, which has taught us to go with the flow and to be more appreciative of what we do have. That has created a lot of inner strength that is coming out now, and it's forming this new person who is singing a tune or playing a tune. There's happiness and joy that is coming out of this. So I really feel like the message this week is, this is a time naturally of review, but it's also about kind of reviewing just how far you've come, giving yourself a pat on the back, recognizing that you made it through some really tough stuff and you did have the resources. Source always provides. No matter what's happening, Source always provides what is essentially needed. It's up to us to say yes to it. And we grew in strength. We are now at a new plateau. We're at a new level of, I want to say, consciousness, where we know that we can take care of ourselves. We know where we need to go. We have a clearer path. And out of that, sing the song, make the music, manifest and co-create this new vision, because that's what it's about. And that's where we co-create from. We co-create from that ocean of emotion. We co-create from that personal power, from that identity source, how we're feeling into things, how we are viewing what we are entitled to or what we choose to own. This is how we are moving forward. I'm also getting that this week in particular, it's important to not get too wrapped up in, I want to say, the mind. The mind is there in conjunction with the heart and the soul. And when you are overanalyzing something, when you are looking back and saying, oh my God, it's kind of like perspective. It's like when I look at the resources, actually I've got a great analogy of this. I had a moment where I was too in my head. I had been laying by the pool and having a wonderful day, kind of chilling in my own space, but the pool was cold and the clouds were cloudy and there was a breeze. And so I was laying by the pool wrapped up in towels and freezing my butt off. And I was listening to music and I tried to make the best of it. But, it wasn't an ideal pool day. And someone turned to me as I was getting ready to leave and said, oh, was it a good time? Did you enjoy yourself? And right out of my mouth comes no. It was a little cold. So right away I'm going to all the things that are wrong, the complaints. And he goes, well, maybe you got a little bit of alone time. And I was like, oh my God, yes, of course, Stacey, you were here for, 2.5 hours. Obviously you must have enjoyed at least a little bit of it. Otherwise you would have picked up and left at some, given time. And it shook me out of that. Wow, my thoughts are really going into the negative and focusing on the stuff, I'm looking for complaints. I'm looking for reasons to be grumpy. I'm looking for reasons to say, oh, and here we go again. Something didn't turn out. This is an opportunity to say, no, I have all of the resources. And yeah, maybe it's cloudy. Maybe there isn't any sun in the sky, during this time. But look, I've got water. I've got food. I've got a beautiful, house that I live in. I've got, healthy animals. I've got an amazing group of friends. It's really recognizing that through this rebirth, we also must rebirth the way that we think about our world, the way that we think about our lives, the way that we think about our now and what it's bringing us. So be open to what the universe is going to bring to you around that co-creation, around what you're co-creating. And you are co-creating from a new version of self. And that's really important for all of us to really embrace. I am not the same person I was at the beginning of this year. I'm not the same person I was halfway through this year. I have been rebirthed and reborn, and so too have you. We've all gone through this major rebirth over the last couple of years. So how has it shifted you? And now, how do you need to adapt to that your mental process to that awareness and that understanding? All right, and our oracle reading for the week is coming from the Elle deck by Arwen Lynch. Ooh, I love this. She who frees, Carly. Liberation, unrestrained, and freedom. And how perfect when we are looking at the rebirth card. You know, sometimes we see rebirth as a struggle and a strain. And again, you've got sort of the stormy, the darker, and coming into the light, rising into the light. With this, she's in the storm and she's saying, you know what? I don't care. Storm, bring it on. I have broken free of my shackles, broken free of my chains. I'm no longer going to look at sort of the negative or the what I don't have. I'm going to focus on what I do have, which is my freedom. And there's these beautiful birds high up in the sky. She's not looking in that direction. She's actually looking, you know, directly at you, giving that, you know, I see you, and, you know, if I can do it, you can do it too. But there's also these beautiful birds in the sky with a hint of the blue. And I feel like that's kind of going along with this, that there are bluer skies. It's all in how we choose to reach up and take it. It's how we choose to let go of the idea that the storm is here to hold us down and to break us. It's not here to break us. It's here to give us the power to be able to break out of our own chains, because ultimately we are making our own chains. We are making our own jail. This week, what I'm hearing is, and she's dropping those shackles and she's dropping them into this huge, you know, sort of splash of wave that's coming up to her. And it almost looks like it could overtake her. But as she's got this, you know, she's dropping the chains in there, it's almost like the wave responds to the chain and switches its direction. It's no longer targeting her, it's targeting the chain, right? So I feel like the message for us this week is to, I want to say, distract ourselves from the negative, distract our thoughts from going into a lack mentality, going into a what there isn't instead of what there is. Distracting it by putting those negative feelings, thoughts, emotions, or I mean, negative is sort of a judgment, but you know, the lower thoughts, the thoughts that are in a lower vibration or a lower frequency. And you're going to put those in the ocean. You're going to put those in the storm. You're going to feed the storm with that. And when I say feed it, I don't mean you are putting your focus and attention on that. I'm saying you're throwing that to them because your focus and attention is going elsewhere. It's going to your freedom. It's going to the birds in the sky. This is where I'm heading. I am safe on this rock. I own this rock because I'm powerful enough to stand on my own 2 feet no matter what else is going on around me. I am liberated. I am free. Nobody gets to tell me how to do anything. I have the choice to be able to do that myself. And that is part of the rebirth. That is a part of, and I feel that everybody has been given that gift of, okay, you know, we've come through a pretty intense couple of years. We are all changed. Now, how do I want to use that change to better myself, to feel more empowered, to feel more in control of my life and my emotions? There have been some really scary times and scary moments for a lot of people during this time in terms of survival. And yet we're all still here. We're all still here. So it is that space of, okay, I can weather this storm and come out stronger, better, faster, smarter than when I went in. And releasing what is no longer serving, releasing what just doesn't fit anymore, because I'm a new version of myself. So really explore that this week. All right, let's pull a feather and see what the complimentary message is here. Ooh, beautiful. Willpower. And I'm hearing very much that it is going to take some willpower to be able to sustain this energy. You know, when we are going through a rebirth, it is not sunshine and daisies, wine and roses all the time. A lot of times a change hurts. A lot of times change takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, oh yeah, I'm used to going here, but I've got to redirect my thoughts because this is where I'm going instead. I've already dealt with this. I'm not doing that again. Here's the new thought. It takes us a while to build a new habit. It takes us a while to break out of old patterns. It takes willpower. And that's what I'm hearing the message is for you here is don't get discouraged. Willpower is part of the process. You don't have to go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds because, you know, the 0 to 60 wasn't there all along. Actually, it's a horrible analogy. I'm going to switch it. Rome wasn't built in a day. I didn't get this way overnight. It's not going to take me overnight to undo or to shift paths and shift directions. It takes just a second being present in the now to make a choice to shift. And that is powerful enough. That is, half the battle. But willpower is involved because sometimes we get on a path and it's exciting and woohoo, and we're riding high on the newness of it all and the excitement of the adventure. And then when one little thing goes wrong, suddenly this isn't as fun. It takes willpower to work through that, to be able to continue on the path, to continue building what your dream is, to continue down the road of adventure, to ultimately get to the destination you're seeking to get. So willpower isn't a bad thing, it's a really good thing. And likewise, if you feel like you don't have willpower, don't beat yourself up over it. This is tough stuff. Focus instead on each moment saying, okay, I didn't have willpower in that moment, but this moment can be different. I can make a different choice in this now. I can reach out for help in this moment right now. Someone to talk to, someone to guide the path for me, someone to, take the walk with me. There are ways to support yourself through the power of your will. Open yourself up to that. All right, guys, that is our reading for the week. As always, sending so much love. If you like what you see here, feel free to click that bell on my YouTube channel. I also have my Facebook page and my Insta, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. Would love to see you there. Also, I've got my year-end preview service, which is huge. If you want to see what is coming down the pike for you for 2022. Oh boy, I'm in the clouds today. For 2022, this is an amazing reading. It is 2 months only. I only offer it for 2 months and it's already booked up pretty quickly. So if you want to get in, now is the time to do so. It's an hour-long session. I use cards and I pull a card for each month of 2022 and tell you what to expect, what wonderful things you have to look forward to, anything that you want to kind of pay attention to and have a little heads up for. People absolutely love this service and I love doing it. Would love to connect with you in that way. You can book that on my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. Would love to see you there. Thanks so much, guys. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.